What is going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Earthshaker versus Lina matchup. Now, off the bat, if you guys are mid lane players and you understand a little bit about this matchup, you absolutely know Earthshaker gets absolutely dumpstered in this lane. There's really not much the Shaker can do unless the Lina is just an absolute garbage player and is constantly walking up and eating an enchant totem. Otherwise, every time you walk up and you try and secure a last hit or a deny with enchant totem, you're the one who's going to be suffering. Lina's going to be casting a shit ton of spells on you, going to be doing a lot of damage over time and a heck of a lot of right click, as Earthshaker is a low armor hero. So this is a lane I highly recommend you guys to get your supports to rotate and give you a hand, because you're going to have a really bad time, and Earthshaker isn't a very good jungle hero, so you definitely don't want to be relegated into the jungle, at least before level 6, when you have some more points in Aftershock. Then you could kind of jungle decently, but it's still not good. You'd rather benefit from the lane farm and XP, and then you can take the extra side camp and be a lot more efficient, get yourself a blink dagger at a much better timing. This is a matchup you need to play very careful, which you can easily feed, so make sure you buy enough regen. That is one of the keys. You're going to be burning a lot of regen in this lane, so make sure you have yourself a bottle, a stick, and raindrops. It is very important if you want to win this matchup on the Earthshaker, and if you are playing the Lina, just spam as many spells on this hero as possible. Hit the Earthshaker off cooldown, force him to make rotations on the side lanes that he definitely doesn't want to do, as Earthshaker can definitely go for easy rotations, but he's not the type of hero that definitely wants to be doing that. He's a hero that wants to get blink dagger at a much faster pace. He doesn't want to be chilling in the jungle. He doesn't want to be just AFK farming all the time. He wants to be able to pick his own pace and be able to do whatever he wants around the map. That's one of the things Lina can force. Lina can rush Boots of Travels and definitely make a lot more space on the map than Earthshaker ever will, especially before blink dagger. That's a very big problem, so you can definitely shut down the Shaker very easily in the laning phase. And if he doesn't get support rotations and you're the one who's getting rotations, you can easily shut him down, as it's very easy to kill Earthshaker when you're playing Lina and you're constantly bringing him down. Even when you have a wand and you have raindrops and such, you will still probably die, so you need to be very careful on your positioning. Keep your enchant totem for securing CS and only walk up if necessary to secure a last hit. Otherwise, don't walk up whatsoever and stay within XP range. So you need to play very careful. Otherwise, you're going to be burning a lot of salves. You're going to be burning a lot of regen in general in this lane, and it's not going to be very beneficial for your net worth. So you need to play for your blink dagger timing. You need to make sure you get yourself boots nice and early. That way you can kite away the stun. You're able to get into a better position, so maybe you want to close the gap and land a nice Echo Slam when you hit your level 6. Then you definitely have a lot of kill threat onto the Lina, because if she's stuck inside a creep wave and you Echo Slam, she's practically dead. She's still a very squishy hero, so if you are able to close the gap without being too low, she definitely dies quite easily. That is your biggest problem on the Shaker in the early levels. You don't have an easy way to get on top of the Lina or any other squishy heroes. That is why you rush the blink dagger. Once you have your Aghanim Scepter, you can just rush the Lina hands off, and it's going to be quite easy for you to get those kills on her, as she's still going to be very squishy. You can build BKB if you don't want to get stunned, but you can easily dodge it with Scepter. It's definitely a very easy stun to dodge, and Lina is going to have a really hard time dealing with the Earthshaker, as it's a lot of burst damage that the Earthshaker can provide. And with a nice team behind the Shaker with some stuns, Lina's definitely going to be running for her life most of the time, so you need to be very careful if you're playing the Lina, and build some defensive items. I see a lot of Lina players where they're dumpstering the mid Shaker and they just don't build any defensive items. They think it's going to be like that the entire game. Well, newsflash, it's definitely not, unless you're playing against a bot or Shaker player. But if they know anything about this matchup, you should know it definitely gets a lot better. It's a very rough laning phase, but if they're not able to convert that into towers or extra map pressure, then you're pretty much safe. All you need to do is wait it out, get your timings, get your blink dagger online, get your Aghanim Scepter, and if you go for items like Daedalus, you're going to be doing so much damage you could potentially kill the Lina in a couple of shots. It's going to be very easy for you to get rid of her. You could even go for items like Silver Edge, which are very good, especially for you to kite the Lina and be able to do a lot of damage and burst a support in potentially one shot. Almost any support hero in the game that is squishy and doesn't have a lot of HP. So this matchup is definitely very fun. It's definitely cool for you guys to learn this matchup, as it's being played quite a bit. Earthshaker is quite a popular hero right now in the current meta, and Lina is starting to come up. I definitely don't think Lina is that great of a mid hero right now, I think Earthshaker is a lot better, provides better team fight, more utility, and overall I think Earthshaker is just in a much better spot than Lina, but there's still quite a few players picking Lina, so you definitely need to be careful. You will probably most likely lose the lane unless it's like a huge skill gap and the Lina doesn't know what she's doing, she keeps walking up. That's pretty much the only way you're going to be able to do that. You win those early trades and then you'll be a lot better off, but if you're losing those early trades, which is pretty typical, 80% of the time you're going to be losing that lane. 20% is just because you outplayed them or you got a support rotation or you're just a lot better than the other player is. That's pretty much how this matchup goes. It's definitely very one-sided when it comes to the laning phase, but I think overall the Earthshaker is a much better hero in the mid to late game than Lina is. It can definitely take care of her no matter what. It could definitely do a very good job at taking care of the Lina, and if you have some stuns, she is definitely going to be food every single time. You're going to be able to get rid of her, and you can even go for items like Midas on the Earthshaker to be able to scale a lot faster. If you feel like you struggled really hard, if you ended up losing the lane pretty hard and died a couple of times and you want some recovery, you can definitely go for a Midas and resort to the jungle and get free pickoffs here and there whenever you can, so you're able to get that quick blink dagger. But once your scepter comes online and you get yourself a Chrysalis, that's pretty much go time for the Shaker. It's your time to be making space around the map. You can also do that if you like playing an aggressive style of Shaker and you don't want to AFK farm. You can definitely do that. Otherwise, the Lina could definitely snowball and run over the game before your timings are online, as Lina comes online much faster than the Earthshaker does, as she is quite a speedy hero and already has a stun. She definitely doesn't need to close the gap onto heroes that easily, and the Shaker definitely struggles on closing the gap pre-blink dagger. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I think Lina should definitely be building items like BKB or Eul Scepter to protect yourself. Silver Edge is a very good item if you're able to break the Earthshaker. It's definitely going to be very beneficial for you and your team, as his Echo Slam is not going to do nearly enough damage. It's always going to be a good thing to break the Shaker. You could go for items like Blade Mail on the Shaker, which are always very underrated. Even though his kit is pretty standard, you get your Blink Dagger, you get your Scepter, and then it's kind of like whatever you want to pick up. I think Blade Mail is just really good on the losing game, as heroes tend to ignore you a lot more because they see the Blade Mail pop. It gives you a few seconds to pop some bottle charges, pop a stick, and lets you kite away a lot easier. And if you have your Aghanim Scepter, it's going to be really good. So definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this matchup. I just think Lina definitely wins the laning phase, but the Earthshaker definitely takes mid to late game if both players aren't equal skill level. And it's also team dependent. You can't just always look at the 1v1 matchup. It's very team dependent as well. You definitely want rotations from the Shaker. You want to be able to kill that Lina nice and early. You definitely don't want to feed in the mid lane because it's going to be really difficult for you to get those levels in the jungle. If you have to relegate yourself to the jungle, it's definitely not going to be very good for you. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. I like it, would be much appreciated. I will see you guys in the next matchup video. Take care.